Okay, guys, Richard Amoy here, executive consultant. We're about to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start a screen share. We're at 9 o'clock on the dot, so we're going to start on time. This is kind of a beta, not done this slideshow yet, so I'm praying that I can have it done in about 45 minutes, but it might take a little longer. Who knows, it might go a little less. The information that we're going to go over tonight is geared towards new marketing consultants, geared towards consultants that have come in during open enrollment. It's also geared towards consultants that may have been active for a little while. They, life took them out, whatever took place, circumstances, and this is just a way for them to kind of get re-jump started back into the business. We call it a quick start because we're going to heavily focus on the next few days with this business, the next few days with this promotion. But even beyond this promotion, this is still going to be valid for people that are looking to create duplication in your business. So those of you that are seasoned, regionals going to senior, seniors going to executive, and so on. These are the steps that we're going to be using to help people promote people through the compensation plan so that they can better feel traction and a grip on what they're actually trying to do. So if you guys would just bear 1 second, let me go ahead and start the screen share and we'll get this up. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead. As I said before, Mary and I have been with the business now several years. There's my lovely bride right there. We've had the privilege of being on the Co-Founders Leadership Council, as well as last year about this time we had earned our $1 million jacket, which was just an incredible milestone. And I know for some of you guys that see that widget in your back office, that you might have, and it just seems like an eternity. We actually had to make our own thermometer that we kept in the office, and every month we'd have our daughter fill in the lines by 10,000 or by 15,000 or 20,000, whatever it was to notch that thing away so we could actually see some traction. But where we're at right now is Chris Chambliss, our co-founder, chief marketing officer, did say that Zero Down Double 50 ends on April 10th. You know, those of you that have been with us for, the past few weeks or several weeks, you've seen that we've extended it a few times. I didn't think it was going to extend one more time this last time. I kind of felt this time coming around Good Friday and the call center being closed that they would give us a little bit more time, and they gave us 7 more days. And now where we're sitting is we got 3 more days. We got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, midnight Central Time, and then this promotion goes bye-bye. We're not going to go right back to 429. I don't know what it's going to be. Chris said he would release that information. So I guess we'll know something around midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning Saturday, and we'll know exactly what we're dealing with. But what I can tell you is that a lot of us leaders are looking forward to 429 again, or something close to that, just so we can have people have some real skin in the game. And those of you that came in during open enrollment, please don't treat this like a $26 business. Please don't treat it like a free business. This is something that has changed a lot of lives. I know we've got various downlines that are listening in on this. I know executive consultant Kevin Cochran, who's also a yellow jacket wearer, his group's on here. I know he certainly didn't treat this like a zero or just even a $429 investment. And then we've got executive consultant Jared Abshire's group on here as well. And, all of us treated this like we spent $429,000 on it, and our lives have been ever for change because of it. Here's, just a little bit, I guess, a little bit more about us and some of the tools maybe you want to consider having in your arsenal. One of the reasons why I like the Success from Home magazine, and there's several folks that are on here that you might recognize. The purple jacket, who's earned over $5 million. That's what the jacket simplifies. He's earned well over that. And then Mary and myself off to the right. Coach Alan Johnston there, who's out in the Tyler area, who, high school basketball coach, built this business part-time, earned over $1 million in the business last year. And then Tin Bowie, who's right there in the middle, the young Vietnamese teacher guy that's retired now, just got his yellow jacket this past simulcast, which was an absolute, just godsend to see him and Jill promote like that. So, and then Frank Schmeling over here off to the far left, just got fitted for his purple jacket, his $5 million earnings. So just, Success from Home Magazine features so many other consultants that are in the business. We have other great partners like Belinda Acock, who's out in West Texas, Frankie Nagel, who's up there in the Northeast, and then we got David Belmar, who I can't tell if he lives in Texas or Puerto Rico most of the time. So, obviously there's other covers that are out there that you can use. Depending on where you're building in your local market, you might. But the reason why I wanted to bring up this magazine real quick, there's things in here that you may not be present to about Ambit Energy. Ambit has paid out, as of the magazine date back in the fall of 2014, over $4.3 million in free energy. So some people wonder if our free energy program's real. It is. I'm sure right now it's probably going to be well over 5 million, if not 5.5 million that we've paid out. My father-in-law pays about $7 a month. Been doing that for about 7 years in his home down there. That's in the Houston area. He's on a fixed income. Having free energy goes a long way for him. Ambit obviously has become the 12th largest direct selling company in the world, which also makes us the #1 direct seller of energy in the world. Understand, the company's not just thinking of America. The company is looking at international expansion over the years to come. We're going to see about 30 states deregulate in the country. Other countries have already started deregulating. I'm sure Canada and the UK is not too far around the corner for us. Over $1 billion in just 7 years. Not many companies have hit that milestone. Just think about it. You get to be a part of a company for no enrollment, or you paid $4.29, whatever it is, but you get to be part of the best because of this. And all these articles are in the Success from Home magazine. They're great credibility tools to have with you. You don't have to have truckloads of them. Most new consultants will have 3, 4, 5 that they've got handed out that come back to them. Don't ever hand these out like candy, but it is a great credibility tool. These are sold on the Barnes & Noble stand in the fall time when we're picked for this magazine. Right now, you can get them from your upline, and we just sell them for $40 is basically our cost. So it's not a profit center for us. And then here's a mind-blowing thing, and these numbers are dated. You might be wondering, it's like, how much money is Ambit paying out? Well, $80 million in commissions in 2013. 2014, we were just told by our co-founders, was right around $100 million in commissions. Lifetime right now, we're over 370, which right now that would have to be up to $470 million in commissions since the company's been founded. So there's lots of room in this for you guys that are just getting started. And for those of you that have been around, I mean, you're looking at incredible market opportunities with all the new expansions. Even in our most mature state, which is Texas, we only have 6% market share, which means there's well over 8 million customers available to go get that Ambit hasn't even been able to touch. We can't even keep up with the population growth. But here's where we're started. You're looking at this, you've just gotten started, or maybe you're re-engaging. First off, congratulations and welcome to the team. If we've not had a chance to meet, I'm very sorry for that, but we definitely want to get to know you. We definitely want to be able to work with you, and we want to know why you're building this business. What are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? See, it's one thing when people start talking about, well, I want a new house, or I want these big things, and sometimes it's hard to keep those in perspective. You need to have those things out there in the distance, but you also need to have the things that you can work on today. Maybe it is you work a job and a part-time job, and you've got a certain dollar amount that would get you out of that part-time job. That part-time job would get you to a place to where you could spend more time with your family and still be able to put more time towards your Ambit business, something that you're building for yourself for the future. Then you look at long-term things. Maybe it is moving from an apartment to a house. Maybe it's, trading in your car and getting something that's got less mileage on it. Those are all great things to have in place. Now, also is really looking at how much money per month would make this worth your time. See, there's all these goals that you have, and there's more than likely they're going to revolve around a certain amount of money that you need to make per month. There's what you make already, and you know what that keeps the lights on for you. But if you're looking at this being a full-time deal for you, or you're looking at this being a super strong part-time business for you, how much money per month would make it worth your time? You're going to have to give some time towards this. Most people, we can say, listen, when you start out, 5 to 10 hours a week would be great. Those of you that are really serious, that are wanting to get things moving quicker, then probably 15 to 20 hours, and that would be equivalent to what a part-time job would actually equate to. So obviously, the more time you put at it, the better and quicker you are going to move, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it from a very small amount of time, like Tim Bowie did for over 5 years, working on his lunch break and then working when he was done grading his papers. And in 5 years, he was able to replace his income, get up to a 6-figure residual income, and walked away from teaching and retired to where now he can build his Ambit business full time. So the sky's the limit for you there. Just don't limit yourself, but we want to talk about these things. Now, approximately how many hours are you committed each week to develop that kind of income? I mean, you got to ask yourself, are you really willing to give 5 solid hours? Are you willing to give 10 solid hours? And maybe the real question is, I don't know what to do in those hours. That's where you work with your upline. That's where you work with your senior executive consultant to where they can help you kind of figure out, okay, how many people are we going to contact this week? Who do we need to sit down? Who do we going to go meet with? Those are the kinds of things you want to figure out. And then really, how many months would you work those kinds of hours in order to develop that kind of income? See, you're not going to replace your income in 30 days. You're probably not going to replace it in 6 months. So you got to have some kind of level of reality and realisticness to how this business is going to be. And the one thing that, network marketing has done a great job of doing, which is not really all that great for us in general, is we've had these people that have promote ridiculous numbers. In my personal opinion, if your numbers can shoot up that quick, they can drop down just as quick. If you're looking to build something sustainable, something reliable, then it's going to take some time to build. Now, you can make great money along the way with the bonuses that Ambit's got in place. And then as the residual starts to grow, that's great too. I mean, it took Mary and I about 10 months to replace our lifestyle income, what we needed to pay our bills, pay the mortgages, pay everything else that we had, but not necessarily all the extras that we were accustomed to. When we walked away from the mortgage business after being in that business for 4 years, we had just tapped ourselves out time-wise, working 70, 80 hours a week most of the time. So when we got to the point to where we could shut those down and just buy back our time and work from a flexible schedule, even though we weren't making all the money we were making in the mortgage business, we were more than content, and we felt like we had breathing room, and then we could go build a really big business, the lifestyle that we were looking for. So I would encourage you, and maybe it's not this week that you do this, but maybe as you start to see certain images, whether it's online, whether it's in magazines, start tearing stuff out. Make a vision board. I'm telling you, you need to come up with something that you're looking forward to that excites you, not just paying off debt. Listen, debt's going to get paid off if you make more money and you spend less. Debt's going to get paid off. That's the simple stuff. What do you do after you're debt free? Is it the trip that you've been talking about doing with your spouse forever? Is it the vacation with the kids? Is it a new car? Is it a used car? I'm probably not buying a new car anytime soon. I'm going to keep buying used. I just assume not to pay for somebody else's future depreciation. So I'll just take it on there. But nonetheless, there's things that you want to go do, and you need to come up with something that excites you. So start finding these images and start finding these things that you really, truly do want to go do and have in your life. That's what a vision board is. And I would recommend that you take a picture of it, you put it on your mirror, you put it on your screensaver, you put it on your phone, put it everywhere you can. And when you start thinking, you know what, maybe this Ambit thing, maybe I'm not going to do that today, or maybe I'm not going to do it at all anymore. I didn't like that last conversation I had, and I'm just going to bow out. Well, just look at that vision board and just realize that's what you're quitting on. Now, if you come up with another vehicle that'll get you there, great. Ambit may not be the only vehicle, but it's been a vehicle that's worked for a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that are willing to work with you to help you get to that vision of what you're looking for. So here's the thing. You got to get introduced to your regional, your senior, and your executive partners. They've got a vested interest in your success. And if your sponsor hasn't introduced you to these people, maybe your sponsor is still not even in the business. They joined and they quit so quick that you don't even know who the upline is. Well, I pray that you reach up. I pray that you come find us, or find out whoever. Find Kevin, you find Jared, find whoever is in your upline through the power zone in your back office, and get in touch with those people. Just reach out. Let us know who you are. We do want to work with you. We do want to help you. And this is part of the duplication. The people that are coming into the business have to get connected to the upline leadership. Without it, you are just on an island all by yourself. And it's not a lot of fun. It's a hard way to build your business. And there's so many obstacles that you might bump up against that you'll feel like you're in business by yourself. But this business is designed to have you not be in business by yourself. All right, so here's where the rubber meets the road. And I'm speaking to all of you consultants that are in the business here. If you succeed in this business, it's not going to be you. It's not going to be you who creates that success. It's not going to, I'm sorry. If you succeed in this business, it's going to be you who creates that success, not me. And if you fail in this business, it's going to be you who creates that failure, not me or your upline. You are going to be the difference between success or failure. I'm here and your upline's here to guide you every step of the way, but we can't do it for you. We're here to work with you, but not for you. Our job is to teach you how to create duplication and have freedom. The goal is to help you become independent as quickly as possible. Do you agree that's a good idea? Most people nod their head and they say it's a good idea. I want to be able to be my own boss. I want to be independent. But understand, there's a process in doing that, and we got to follow the system. And we're going to go through the system tonight as well. But understand that we're fighting for your success. Now, here's the other thing. There will certainly be ups and downs as you build your business. There will be good times and bad times. I'll know you're in one of the bad times when you're not calling, you're not showing up for meetings, you're not on the calls, the team calls, the national calls. I start hearing excuses, that sort of thing. When that happens with you, and it happens with everyone, how do you want me to handle that? How do you want your upline to handle that? How do you want your sponsor to handle that? Do you want us to leave you alone? Or do you want us to be persistent and remind you why you made the decision in the first place to start your business? You know, that comes down to, you know, are you willing to let someone else hold you to account to the vision you created, to the why you started this business? And you've got to give that permission. We can't do it for you. We can't make it. It'll actually seem worse if we do. So we just want you guys to really, really understand that if you want to be in partnership with us, we're here for the long haul. I'm the last person to quit in any relationship. So if you tell me you're all in, then, you know, understand we're going to have some tough conversations along the way. And I know that's true with Kevin as well as it is with Jared. So I want to cover a couple things with our events. And usually this is where some of the excuses actually start happening. You know, in January, we do simulcast. That's done in multiple cities. This year, we actually streamed it online as well. So it made it really easy for people to attend that. Power Trip is in April in Dallas, which actually is starting this week. There's actually still tickets you can get for that if that's what you want. It starts Thursday night with the business presentation. That is completely free. There's no charge for that. Friday and Saturday is the actual event. Friday night is with Chris and Jerry, where you get to hear them unscripted, going through questions from the field. They'll speak about the state of the company, casting vision for the company. It is probably one of the best things that we ever do in Ambit Energy is that evening with Chris and Jerry. So if you've got interest in that, let us know, and we'll help you get tickets for it. Ambition is our annual conference. We do it every Labor Day weekend. It's in Dallas. I'll have a little dates and everything that we go over later and pricing, but you got to be at Ambition. Ambition is like not celebrating New Year's when when December 31st rolls over to January 31. You know, that is our beginning of our year of Ambition inside of Ambit Energy. So, you know, get registered for that. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but bottom line is if you're in the business right now and you're planning on being here and you're planning on promoting through the compensation plan, you got to have something that you're building for, because your team will not follow you to big events if you're not going. And then we're going to start doing Power Trip up in the Northeast, and that's always done in November. So that'll be coming around. We're looking for dates on that. But here's what you got to understand. Our business is built from event to event. It starts with attending weekly business presentations and attending smaller training events in and out of town. Okay. If you and your team are growing, then in order to keep new team members engaged and in front of the right people, then attending events is an absolute must. There will be times that it simply doesn't work, but just remember that if you have more people at an event than the last one you were at, you are making more money and promoting through the compensation plan. People want to be part of something. And maybe you're thinking, well, I'm somebody, I don't need to go to those deals. I don't want to go to a rah-rah session. Listen, everything that I've ever been to as far as an event, I don't think Ambit's a very big rah-rah company in general. Maybe because it's electricity and natural gas and it's not that rah-rah. But, listen, go 3 days without it and tell me how your life looks. You'll feel like you want some rah-rah. You definitely want some energy. But, these events are designed to keep a support system in place so you can be around local leaders, so you can pick up new tips and tricks and all the things so you can get some more coaching and just so you can be a part of. And plus, when your new person joins, you want them to be able to plug into something because you don't want to be the only one that they're depending upon. You want them to have other people that they're getting coaching and direction from. And this is the ways that we do it. That being said, we send out relevant information for events and important updates, but we don't do chatting or coaching through email. This is me and Mary. I don't know about other people, but I don't do a lot, try not to do a lot through email. It's the worst. Emails and voicemails are the worst way to communicate with most uplines and definitely with me and Mary. If you park a voicemail on my phone, it may not be gotten to for a week. If you send me an email that's really long, I'm probably not looking at it anytime soon. There's just too many things that are happening. The best way to communicate with the upline is cell phones and text are best. If you do leave a voicemail, I highly recommend you leave a text that says, hey, I just left you a voicemail, so we know to go look for it. But don't rely on the corporate way of doing business thinking that things get done through email. Nothing gets done through email. We can exchange information, but we're not exchanging anything that's going to be that impactful in real time. This is done through voice, in person, and even in text. I don't coach people. I might answer a question, but I'm not going to coach people through text. So just remember, pick up the phone, you call. Don't worry about if someone's busy. You don't know their schedule. And then at the same token, text messaging obviously works. And if you ever have the thought that you're going to call someone too late, just text them. Most people turn their phones off at night, or at least turn them on complete silent. That's what I do. So I take calls late, but again, if you don't know me very well and you're not in my rhythm, not in my flow, just listen, send me a text. Hey, are you up? I'll respond if I am. If I'm not, you're not going to get any kind of response at all. So anyway, that's all I want to say about that. All right. So you are going to start getting emails from Ambit Corporate. I think you need to prepare your new people from this. I've heard, people get inundated with new emails. Of course, I've heard people say, oh, I'm getting 50 emails a day. No one's getting 50 emails a day, okay? But you are getting some emails probably in your first 2 weeks on a pretty regular basis. Corporate sends out, I think, 2 main emails for just the entire company, and then they do probably one every other day for new marketing consultants for about 14 days to make sure you're getting some kind of support. Obviously, they want you to be working with your upline. And then as your upline, we're going to send out emails a couple, 2-3 times a week. Now, I'd say pay close attention to the upline emails because, those are the things that are going to be probably more relevant to the people you're running with. Corporate emails, you can probably mostly read the headlines and see if anything is relevant to you, like a big event pops up. Hey, there's a special evening that's happening somewhere. But if emails and texts bother you, it will be hard for you to stay plugged in. There's no way we can communicate with that many people without using some form of email. I know it sounds a lot of hypocrisy there that I won't take all the emails, but understand I could potentially get 200-300 emails a day from the downline. There's no way I could possibly get to them. So the ones that are running with us, then it's not hard to kind of keep up with things. But I got to make sure that everyone's getting relevant information. There's no way that I could possibly have gotten this notice out for this hangout session tonight if I didn't have email and I didn't have text. So we're just trying to get just some bullet points out to you guys so you guys can plug into what we have going on. Here's some important numbers. I don't have some of the other upline leaders on here. Had to put this together a little quicker than I planned, but here's our phone numbers. You may want to jot these down real quick if you don't have them. In the back office, you can obviously look up who your senior consultant and your regional consultant is. Two other critical numbers that you should have in your phone is Ambit consultant support and third-party verification. I highly recommend that you put Ambit TPV in your phone. You're going to be using it quite often. I'll give this 3 more seconds. You can always get this later on if need be. All right, moving on. All right, so now would be a good time to change your web handle if you made it super long or really creative. This is kind of a cumbersome thing that I see people do on a regular basis. Just trying to catch things on the front end. So you guys can pay attention to this as you're enrolling new consultants in the future. Make sure you're paying attention to how they're putting their web handle. Like, for example, Steve's superenergy.energy526.com. First of all, you don't need energy in your web handle. I understand a lot of people like to do it because it's an energy company, but you already have energy in your domain name, the Energy 526. You certainly don't ever want to have 2 letters of the same back to each other. You do want to make it simple. So let's just say this guy's name was Steve Jones. I would change it to Steve J, and that would be the web handle. And then all the other websites, stevej.energy526.com, stevej.joinambit.com, those would be the webs. It's so much easier. The people that know you can do that. But if you come up with something super creative and super long, you're going to lose people, and they're going to stick things in Google search bar, and you're going to get lost, and you're not going to like it. So keep it simple, something that they can actually remember. Now, if you've not made yourself your own first customer, now's the time to do it. Make yourself your own first customer. If you need help figuring out what the right plan is for you or how to do it, no problem. Your upline's there to help. Maybe your sponsor's got enough experience they can do it. But make sure you link your customer account to your consultant account so you can start to earn the free energy. You want those linked together. So again, it might take a little bit of help with that. There is a widget in the Power Zone for that. If you're in Texas and you're under a contract, let's take a look at your bill before you decide you cannot switch. 75% of the time, it makes complete financial sense to switch now or to switch within 90 days. Because in Texas, we can lock somebody in for 90 days and they get that rate. So, and this is a great form of training too. You are going to have people that have contracts. It's not just Texas. Texas is a little bit different, but nonetheless, like I said, 75% of the time, people are either going to break the contract now or they're going to break it 90 days. And worst case scenario, we got to wait a total of 6 months to get back to them because there's just not enough usage there to recoup whatever penalty they might be experiencing. But definitely use this as an opportunity for training. You only need 20 customers. Mary and I only have 22 customers. Company says I need to maintain 20. That allows me to be paid on about 20,000 customers. So I'm only trying to teach you how to get 20. That's all we're doing. We're going to work on the rest through building a team. So let's talk to us a little bit about your websites that you do have. AmbitEnergy.com is how you access the Power Zone. You do need to know your consultant ID. That was in the first email that Ambit sent you, and it also sent you your password. I recommend you log into that and get familiarized with it. Not during the day when you can make phone calls. Do it after hours. These are your other websites you can use. You have an energy526.com, which is a video presentation. You have your Why Ambit Works, which is another video presentation. And then your joinambit.com, which is your customer enrollment site. Now, here's the thing. Don't ever send someone to a website that you've not gone through yourself. One, you'll look really foolish when they start asking you questions. So make sure that you've actually watched the videos. If you're sending them to one of those, make sure you've actually watched those videos. All right, let's talk about getting down to real business here. Your initial written list of prospects. You got 3 days left. You got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can put a list of 10 to 25 people easily. And this says 7 days. This would be the norm. But think about this. If you've got a serious list of people that you're intending on reaching, now even if you did a list of 25, you may not reach all 25, but you are probably going to get half of them to take a look if you do reach out. And you can probably pick up 2 or 3 partners in the business with you if you're willing to push some things aside and make this a priority. You know, I would recommend that, you know, move things around. You've got time you can manipulate. You've got time in the car. You've got a lunch break. You've got, whatever, in between meetings when you're waiting on someone and someone else is running long, but you got to have this list with you. You got to be prepared. You can't just walk out of the house unprepared thinking, oh, I'm just going to get a hold of someone today. No, have this list with you. This is absolutely critical. And over the next few days, you can continue to add more people to that list. And after we get done with Friday, then we're going to go full bore into doing a complete written list and use the memory jogger and go through everyone on your phone, everyone in Facebook, everyone you can think of, and we're going to get them in a big master list, and you'll be surprised how many people you actually do know. But over the next few days, you've got to make, before you go to bed tonight, you need to make a list, a solid list of 10 to 25 that you are committed to reaching out to, and that you're going to show the video to as many people as possible, and we're going to talk about how to do that. So real quick here, I'm going to show the non-Texas 7-level residual plan that is based on 3 who get 3. So if you can see that you're here, okay, well, you've come into the business. Now, if you're still inside your 28 days, you still got time to make some additional jumpstart bonuses. Pick up 3 customers. Switch yourself, get 2 more, make 150. Pick up 2 more customers. Pick up 3 customers, make 100, and then pick up 2 more customers and make 50 for a total of 150. And then these 3 partners that you bring into the business. They go back. These 3 partners that you bring into the business here. You're looking for 3 who can get 3. That's it. You're focused on 3 who can get 3. Now, by default of doing that, you are going to promote to regional consultant and start building a regional business. But I want you to really think about 3 who can get 3, not just some, people you can get them to jump in because it's free. People that you would legitimately go into business with, whether it costs $500, $1,000, $10,000, whatever that might be, people that you would go into business with that you could go build a team with. 3 who can get 3. Now, when you run this matrix all the way down, 3 who get 3, levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you get down to the bottom, you're totaling over 3,200 people in your business. Now, if each one of these people was getting their 5 customers, well, look at this, guys. This starts to add up. Get all the way down to level 5, 6, 7, and that's a lot of customers. Well, on our banding here of a nickel all the way to $1.50, and people always ask, why do we pay more on the bottom levels? Because the company wants to reward leadership. People that are driving depth are leading something. No one's going to get personally, financially rich here just doing some minor personal production. You got to build a team. This is not a personal production business. This is about building a team. You build a network, you don't ever have to work again. Mary and I have not had to work to pay our bills in over 7 years. Our bills get paid whether we work or not. But I heard from my good friend Ray Monty, who's had a fantastic month, and he told me, I'm trying to get as far away from broke as possible. And really, I guess that's really what I'm trying to do too. But I'm also trying to do it by helping a bunch of people get there as well. So once you start getting financially free, you feel a real conviction to help other people get there too. And sometimes this number here at the bottom, this $19,000, that kind of freaks people out. I can't imagine that. Well, here's the thing. It starts with 3 who can get 3. So if you want to have a chance at that number of $19,000 a month in residual income, then you better think real long and hard about who those 3 are going to be. Now, I'm guessing there's probably 1, 2, or 3 of them that are inside of that list of 25 that you're going to be reaching out to this week. So make sure you're putting people that you would legitimately do some major business with. I'm going to show the Texas one. It's a little bit more money. It's $23,000. We pay out a little bit more in Texas. As you can tell, levels 5 and 6 and 7, it's $1, $1.50, $2. That stuff adds up, guys. Now, of course, in Texas, you get your first 2 customers, it's going to pay you $100. You get your next 2 customers, it pays you another $100, so for a total of $200. So you bring in your first 3, you help them get their customers, and make another $200 on each one of those. That's $800 just in your first few weeks. Now, here's the thing. When I say help them get their customers, I don't mean give them their customers. What I do mean is work with them. Don't just put them in the business and recruit them and don't help them get plugged in and don't help them get access to information. You want to make sure that you are definitely helping these guys get where they want to get. Help them with that initial list. Help them with getting their 3. you want to make sure that they're thinking inside of, okay, I need 4 customers. Really, I only need 3 customers because I'm going to be my own first customer. And then I need to find 3 strong business partners. Guys, you're in business together. Help each other. Lock arms. If they're in a different town, get them connected where the meetings are in those other towns. And we'll cover that in a little bit too. So after we get past this promotion, then I'm going to recommend that you pull off this list builder that is in the Power Zone. It's pretty in-depth. We're not covering it all right now. I just want you to know that this is going to help you think of more people than you ever thought were possible. Everything's on here. You will think of people that you never even thought of. You'll probably end up with 200, 300, if not 400 names when it's all said and done. Trust me on this. This is a great exercise. It'll take you about 30 minutes to an hour to do it properly, and you will certainly have a strong written list. But that is after this promotion. All right, so here's the other thing. One of the ways that we like to keep you guys connected and signed on is if you go to this link, ambitpowertext.com, ambitpowertext.com, and that will get you opted in to our text service that we send out alerts to. We usually send them out on Wednesdays, and we usually send them out on Sundays, and maybe there's 1 or 2 throughout the week. So we're not blowing your phone up. The service is free. Now, you get your own text minutes and stuff and whatever you got on your phone plans, but we don't impact that. Just, bottom line is we're going to send out a few texts a week to keep you guys plugged in. When you do opt in for this, and some of you guys can do this right now while we're on this from your phone, you need to accept. It's going to send you a text that you've got to accept. Otherwise, you're just going to be in there pending. Sound familiar? It's like you got to do your own third-party verification to opt into this, okay? So you opt into this. It'll send you a text. You got to respond to it, and then you're in. You can always opt out very easily with quit or stop or whatever the rules are for that deal. So it'll be in the menu. But just want to make sure you guys get plugged in with that. If you're on Facebook, look for under Facebook groups, look for Ambit Power Group. It's where we post a lot of things that are going on, local or travel schedule, promotional stuff, anything that's going on. It's just a way to stay plugged in. If you're not on Facebook, you don't want to be on Facebook, don't worry about it. Just understand we've got to take a multi-prong approach to get people plugged in with how they can stay connected to what's happening with the company. Things are moving quick, guys. Just so it's not like in the old days where it was just new information came out so often. Now we've got new information coming out every week. We got markets opening up every 2 months. There's a lot going on, but you got to just keep what's relevant to you in front of you. Don't get bogged down with what's not important. There's a lot of things that I ignore because it just doesn't impact my business. I don't have a group there. I don't have to worry about it. All right, so getting plugged into the system, it's absolutely critical. I recommend that you enter these phone numbers into your calendar, enter them into your phones. These numbers are the same. As you can tell, it is our team conference line. There is a Wednesdays, 9 o'clock Central Time. There is a team call that's done by me and Mary, as well as we do bring guest speakers on from time to time, and we have lots of other groups that plug into that call. That phone number and that pin stays the same. It's 9 o'clock Central Time. Do the math on whatever time zone you're in. If you're in Eastern, it's 10 o'clock. If you're on Pacific Standard, then it's 7 o'clock. Same thing on Sundays. The national call is right there. So Brian McClure typically heads that up, and he puts other people, guest speakers on that as well. This is a great way to keep you and your team plugged into what's going on. Okay, local business presentations. Can't stress this enough. I've never seen anyone build a large group and make a ton of money without attending local business presentations. I realize that there's a bunch of stuff that's going on online. They're saying, hey, join this, do that, and you don't have to go to meetings. You don't have to talk to family and friends. Listen, the reason why Ambit Energy has a less than 4% attrition with their customer base, and we have 50% or more of lifetime consultants getting a check on a regular basis, is because of relationship. Relationship is the Velcro in this business. If you don't like people, this may not be the business for you. Help people, and you want to learn how to raise people up and empower people, then this is probably the business for you. If you want to learn how to create residual income, you need to be around people who are actually making residual income. If you want to get in shape, like Kevin Cochran would say, you need to be in the gym, and you be in there with your friends that want to get in shape also. You got to have to lock arms with people and do what they're doing. And you can't get something for nothing. you're going to have to give something. And I don't know of any other better way to do it than to be around the people that are actually real live and doing it, that are willing to give of their time, talent, and treasure to help you get there. So check your power zone. You just log in there under the presentations tab. You can find out which ones work for you. You don't have to go to the same one every week. You want to get known, but you might have to bounce around because of your work schedule. Just get plugged in. Plus, you're supposed to be showing the business through your video websites and building up to have guests coming for validations. See, live business presentations are designed for a second look, because most people are pretty busy, and getting them out to a hotel meeting is a little bit harder to get them out to a hotel meeting. But they see something and they do the validation call, which we're going to talk about in a little bit here, and they want to come for a second look because they want to meet some of the local leadership, then that's a perfect sense for them. So just treat your local business presentations as a place for you to get plugged into, stay plugged into, and bring people to the business presentation for a second look, so they can validate the choice that they're wanting to make. Maybe they got to bring their spouse that time. Maybe they want to bring one of their other business partners. But use these meetings. Do not do what so many other people like to do and think that, oh, well, that's just a business presentation. I've seen that. Well, until you can give a business presentation to your own group, you need to be at a business presentation. All right, these are the three things that we do in Ambit Energy. We gather customers, we show the plan, and we plug into the system. Those are the three things that we do. So we are going to talk about gathering customers, showing the plan, and plugging into the system. And that's what we're talking about for the rest of the time here. So I want to talk to you about some of you that need to get your customers. You don't have to do an exact approach like this, and we'll make this stuff available in documents that we can email out to you. And of course, this video is going to be available for replay on YouTube and a variety of other things. But I want you to think about this approach. Hi, Steve. I need a favor. I could really use your help. I just started a business and I need to gather some loyal customers. If it wouldn't cost you anything extra, would you be my customer? I mean, you think about that approach. We've asked a good friend for a favor. Maybe we asked mom or aunt or uncle or granddad, whatever. We've asked them for a favor because you just started a new business. And you already told them, I need loyal customers, and if it doesn't cost you anything extra, would you be my customer? We didn't mention Ambit. We didn't mention energy. We didn't talk about rates. We're talking about relationship here. It is about the relationship. Now, it's going to lead to, sure, what are you doing? Well, can you send me a copy of your electric or gas bill, or both, depending on what market you're in? And, sometimes it's going to be yes, no, whatever that might be. Personally, I like them to either email it or send it via text. Take a picture of it and send the picture over via text. And if they say no or why, your fallback is this. Listen, the project is in the energy space and I'm trying to learn the market, and this favor would help me out with my training. So push it back on your training. I mean, if they say yes, then that's a different, you just need to get a copy of the bill and look at it and say, hey, guess what? We can really help you there. But the no is what throws people off sometimes. So I would say, listen, you're going to get some no's. Just let them know, listen, the project is in the energy space and I'm trying to learn the market. I mean, who's going to say no to that that's a friend? And this favor would help me out with my training. Focus on the favor, focus on the training, that they're helping you out just by doing this. And I think you're going to find you'll have quite a bit of success with doing that. For Texas customers, they may say, well, hey, I'm in a contract, and no matter what the response is, always reply back with, that's okay. Looking at your bill will really help me with my training. Again, we're falling back on them helping you with your training. Now, if they go from there and say, okay, I got it. Now, you got to work out the details of getting the bill. Again, send a picture via text or email, whichever is easiest. If you're dealing with people that are older, that don't have like really sophisticated devices, or they don't really know how to get to it, you might actually have to go over to your grandma's house and physically go pull the bill out of her mail to help her with that. But most of the time, you're going to be able to get someone to be able to send a picture or an email or fax it over to you in worst case scenario. Okay, following up after reviewing. If they have already said they would be your customer, that was the first part where they said, well, sure, if it didn't cost anything extra, I'd be your customer. It's like, hey, I took a look at your bill. It was very helpful to me. It looks like we will be able to save you some money. So I just need a little bit of information from you, and we can get you switched over to be my customer. You always want to have customer enrollment forms. If you don't, you can do it on a scratch pad, but I would recommend you got to be prepared at all times to make sure you're going to get that customer. You can print those customer enrollment forms off from the Power Zone as well. Okay, guys, if they have only agreed to letting you see the bill for your training, you can still follow up with this. Hey, I took a look at your bill, and it was very helpful to me. It looks like we will be able to save you some money. If it wouldn't inconvenience you, and since it won't cost you anything extra, would you do me a huge favor and try my service? Now, it would help me jumpstart my business as well as help me with my long-term goal of X. Lose a part-time job, pay off my car, pay off my student loan debt, whatever you want to put in there. And that might be too long for you, but you get the gist. Is we just still want to be able to fall back on the relationship. You want them to help you. Try my service, you know. And here's what I'll say also, when we say try my service, in Texas, it's a little different. Don't ever take someone for 6 months or 3 months if we're running those programs and take a chance with them renewing in the summertime. You never, ever, ever want to have a customer renew June, July, August, or September. Never. So don't just bite at it to get them as a customer. You'll regret it. So you're asking them just to try your service. It's not going to cost me anything extra. And here's the thing, guys. If you can see that it's going to save them money, just point it out to them. Listen, you're going to save $50 this month. That's maybe $600 to $1,200 a year, depending on the overall annual usage. Your penalty is only $150 or $200 if you're in Texas. In these other markets, there's no penalties for the most part. There are some. It does come up, but I'm not going to give a blanket statement. But in Texas, generally the max penalty is $250, is generally speaking. Get help with your upline of this. Don't go into the woods alone on this one. All right, so bottom line is awesome. I just need to get a little bit of information from you, and I'll take care of the rest of the details. Always have enrollment forms with you, and you're good to go. And then you go to a computer, and you put it in there without the customer. We always do the computer work for them, and then we do it from start to third party. Bottom line is you're going to get them enrolled, you're going to get their account number, and then you're going to go ahead and get them on the line with third-party verification and complete the order. Our job is to not inconvenience them. So that's why I don't want you on the phone with the customer while you're doing it. I don't want the customer themselves to enroll themselves. I know very, very seldom you have someone be particular about their Social Security number in Texas. If that's the case, then stick with them on the phone while they're entering it. Make sure they're on the right website. We have it happen periodically where customers hit the back button. It ends up under the corporate house account. Then we got to go bring it back to the consultant. So you want to take control of this. When you're done with all that, then you can start to talk about the travel program. You can start to talk about free energy. Talk to them about their referrals, because understand their referrals count as personal customers to you. And that gets them their first free trip. That gets you your bonuses and helps you towards your promotion. So referrals are good. So you want to make sure you're working those referrals. Appreciate your loyal customers. Send them thank yous. Call them personally. Mail them a written thank you note. Written is so much better than an email, I assure you. Enclose your business card. Ask them to share with friends. And just remember, this is relationship marketing. Do not start treating them like a number. You want to appreciate them. And when you're around them, let them know. You know, and if you're with Steve, say, hey, Steve, you know what? I'm going to buy this Starbucks because you're my customer. Trust me, once you have your 20 customers, you'll pay anything to keep your customers, because you've got so much other money that's on the table with building out your team that you just don't want to have to focus on personal customers. I'm going to talk about a couple approaches. We're going to go through these kind of quickly because they don't really mean a whole lot until you actually start practicing them. I'll recommend that you practice these in front of the mirror till you can get comfortable with them. And we're going to email this out, and we're going to do another video, another presentation that is completely driven just on the invitation approaches to really hone in. But I really want you to find one of these that you're going to focus on over the next 3 days. It's going to stick close to you. So one of the approaches, and here's why we don't call them scripts. because I don't want you to think it has to be word for word. I want you to understand this is kind of an icebreaker. This is just an opening. We're just trying to get in over there with them so that they're willing to take a look at something, because we're never asking them to join. We're just asking them to take a look. Hey, Steve, I'm working on something I'm really excited about that I want to show you. Are you in front of your computer, or when can you be, or when can I swing by later today? Listen, if they're going to do this on their phone, their cell phone, they got to have access to Wi-Fi. So this is with your closest friends. You know, someone that you can kind of almost direct to have them go do whatever you want them to go do in that moment. You know, another approach is, hey, are you in front of your computer? I want to show you something. That's real direct. We're not selling anything. We want to show them what we're working on. Okay, these will be available in a document we're going to send out. Hey, Steve, are you in front of a computer right now? I need you to see what I'm working on. If they say no, then find out when is a good time and be in a hurry. No chit chat here. So, okay, great. You'll be in front of your computer at 5 o'clock. I'll call you at 5 o'clock. What's this all about? Hey, man, I am in between stuff. I will call you back at 5 o'clock. I'm sorry, you're going to have to be that way. Otherwise, you're going to get pulled into a conversation and you are going to spill your beans. So your job is to show the plan, not explain the plan. Approach number 3, hey, Steve, I've got a business idea I want to run by you. It may or may not be interesting to you, but if I sent you a 15-minute video that shows what I'm working on, would you watch it? You know, we're getting permission here. We're getting an upfront contract. Would you watch it if I sent this to you? Great. Could you watch it now on your phone or your computer if I sent it over? Yeah, sure. Or I need time, maybe 3 o'clock, and then you follow up and give it to them then. I very rarely ever send someone the link ahead of time. I want to make sure they get on the website the way they need to. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Primarily, I use the energy526.com site. So, you know, stevej.energy526.com. I do need to correct this www. We don't need that there. Approach number 4. Hey, Steve, I've started a part-time energy business that I'm really excited about. Are you at all keeping our options open for making more money in addition to what you are currently doing? Awesome. Now, listen, it may or may not be interesting to you, but if I sent you a 15-minute video that gives an overview of what I'm working on, would you watch it? Great. Again, could you watch it now, or when could you? Just kind of following the same part of the previous ones. All of it's just trying to get them to say yes, that they're going to watch it. We want them to agree to a time, and we want to agree to a follow-up time. Great. You can watch it in about 30 minutes. Okay. Can I call you back in about 45 minutes? Yeah. And that's when you need to let your upline leaders know that you've got someone watching. One more, which is a great one with strangers or, you know, people that you've got a great relationship. I mean, this can do this with just about anyone. We call this the who do you know game. Hey, I've got a strange question for you. Who do you know that lives in these states? Texas, Illinois, California. And you don't have to do them all. Maybe you just do a handful of them. And they ask, well, sure, yeah, I used to live in Connecticut and now I live in Texas. Why do you ask? That's where my part-time energy business is licensed, and I'm building my business through referrals. It may not be anything you're interested in, but it might be for someone you know. If I sent you a 15-minute video that gives a brief overview of what I'm working on, would you watch it? We're just trying to pique interest. Trying to pique interest. You can't tell me that doesn't sound, you know, strong, credible, legitimate. My business is licensed, and that's where my business is licensed. And I'm building my business through referrals. Very, very strong comeback on that. Now, how to stay out of Death Valley. And I do want to try to keep this to an hour, so we're going to come by a couple of these things fairly quickly. And then we'll send out the documents so everyone has access to it. If at any time there's pushback or questions, just remind them it may or may not be interesting to you, but I think the information will be valuable and could be useful for someone you know. Hang on to that. It's true. I think the information is valuable, and I think it would be valuable for someone they know. And again, we just want them to look. We're not trying to sell them anything. If they ask, is it MLM or network marketing, never hide from or avoid answering. Okay? The answer is yes. And then I follow up with, what do you like about network marketing? Now, you may find out that they don't like anything about it, and you could open up a different conversation there. And you could always fall back on, listen, I understand it's not for you. You're going to be a great person for me to take a look at this. If I sent you a 15-minute video, would you take a look at it? Again, I know it may not be interesting to you, but it may be to someone that you know, and I'm just trying to get practice. So whatever you got to do on that, we can talk more. Some of these things need to be handled through actual live coaching, live coaching sessions. So just understand, we're here to help you through these invitations and these follow-ups, and we'll make sure that you get what you need as long as you're asking for it. The presentation and the validation, two separate things. Presentation showing the video, but now we've got to get through the video and call them at the proper time. Make sure they've got it up on their website. Make sure they got it up on their internet browser properly. Ask them, hey, what do you see? They say the Ambit opportunity or what is Energy 526? Then they're on the right site. If not, make sure you get them directed to the right site. And then I always tell them to skip the first video. Click the tab that says company. In this case, they have to scroll down a little bit to get to the second video, and let them know it's going to take about 15 minutes. Really, it'll be about 14 minutes to watch the second, the third, and the fourth video. And then at this point in time, you want to make sure that you've contacted your senior or an executive partner ready to do a three-way phone call. Hey, I've got someone watching right now. Who's available? Are you available? Are Mary available? Kevin, Jared, who's available? And then, let them know. All right, so when you're following up, there's things to remember that are critical about the follow-up. You're calling back at the proper time. You get them on the phone, and you say, hey, Steve, did you get a chance to watch all the videos? Yeah, I did. It's a pretty exciting business, isn't it? Yeah. Did it make sense? See, I got to know if it made sense because it's important. I got to make sure that they got a pulse. And then the next is asking them, what did you see that you liked best? Now, if they share something that you liked also, then confirm that with them. Just say, listen, you know what? It's one of the things I saw too, that I really did like the residual income. I've never had it. Did you see anything else that you liked? Yeah, okay, if that's true for you, then you could say, listen, I had something very similar. One of the things I liked was the ability to work from a flexible schedule. And then you got to ask the decision. Does that mean you're ready to get started? And then you got to be quiet. Now, sometimes they're going to say, yeah, I am ready to get started. Most of the time it's going to be, I have questions. Sometimes it's going to be, no, I'm not interested. And if it's a hard no, I would just ask them and flip back to being a customer. Say, great, that's not a problem. It may be of interest to someone else that you know, but if it didn't cost you anything extra, would you be my customer? And then you go back through that whole thing of send me a copy of your bill, follow up with them, and all that other good stuff. But if they say, no, sounds like they got questions, say, listen, I realize you probably have questions. And then one of the things that you want to be able to address with them is one of the things that I like most about this business is the teamwork and the professionalism. I'm working with someone who's really successful, and I want you to get your questions answered by them. It would be good for my training also. And then you edify the expert. Whatever accolades about them, listen, they're not just an executive consultant. They don't know anything about what an executive consultant is, okay? It's like this person is promoted to the second highest position in the company. This is what they do full time, or, this is what they did to get out of their part-time job, or this person's made over $1 million. Something that's going to be strong and compelling, but don't use jargon. Don't say they're an EC, they're an SC. Don't even say that they're an executive. Unless you're going to explain what an executive is, okay? And you can talk about, hey, they've been with the company now for 3-4 years or however that is. Edify them, okay? And if you're using someone that's in the same work field as that person, then you can say, hey, listen, you know what? Steve is also doing this business part-time. He's also an engineer, and I couldn't think of anyone better to help explain his experience with the company, okay? So very, very critical on that. If they're not willing to get on the call, and it does happen, sometimes we get people, it's like, no, I'm not, no, don't put me on the call, nothing. And they've already said no to the opportunity. Just say, listen, that's totally fine. If it doesn't cost you anything extra, would you be my customer and help me grow my business? I mean, you always can fall back on being a customer. I mean, if our sponsors would have asked us to be a customer first, we would have said no, because we can't switch. We're in a co-op, and that would have been the end of the conversation. But because they talked to me about a business, then I didn't have to worry about the customer. I saw the opportunity. Took a while to see the opportunity, but I saw the opportunity, and I didn't care that I couldn't be my own customer. It was just one customer out of 20 I couldn't be. I could find people anywhere. There were people that I knew all over Texas that I could call if need be. So bottom line is lead with the opportunity, follow up with the customer. Those of you that are still in your jumpstart period, I would recommend you get your first couple of low-hanging fruit customers, mom, dad, brother, cousin, whoever that you can, grandma, and get those first few. But don't you dare squander the next 3 days with this promotion that we have going on right now. There's some credibility information that we have available for folks as people start doing research. We're getting real close to 10 o'clock here. Here are the dates for Ambition. It's September 2nd through the 5th. And maybe you can't make all of those. You can only get a couple of days off from work. Whatever it is, be there. The big days are Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And if you can't be there Thursday, it's Friday and Saturday, and that's full on. You want to be there for every bit of that if you can. And there are people that just come for Saturday, and they have no problem with paying for the airfare and full ticket, whatever they got to do. But right now, it's $149 for consultants who are older than 30 days. If you're younger than 30 days, it's $139. So this is a do not miss event. I don't know what you've got going on Labor Day weekend, but if it doesn't involve building a multi-million-dollar business, then you need to be at Ambition. My mind gets blown every time that I'm there, and I can't think of anything better to spend my Labor Day weekend, as we do each and every year, with all of my friends and business partners. Now, final thoughts. The process towards transformation is what creates fulfillment. Fulfillment leads to confidence. Everyone wants to go from zero to something, but that's not reality. Choose the price you're willing to pay and choose who you're willing to follow. And that will determine where you end up. These are the guys that we've chosen to follow: Jerry, Chris, and John Burke. So these are the guys that we've chosen. John Burke is the silent third co-founder, as it gets referred to sometimes, but we all know that without his IT back office, that Ambit would just be, I don't know what Ambit would be, but it certainly wouldn't be thriving the way that it is as a $1.5 billion company. So these are the guys that we've chosen to follow. They've never let us down. We've been with the company for over 8 years. We have followed them through each and every expansion, and we're going to continue to do it. I don't know why that came up upside down. I'm sorry about that, guys. These are our awards. If you can turn your computer upside, you'll be able to read these. That's so funny. Anyway, we'll cut this out. And then here's the other thing. At the end of the day, you got to realize which way did the scale tip. Did it go to where? Did it go to fear, or did it go to action? And I deal with this on a daily basis too. Trust me, there's things that still scare me about this business of approaching certain people. But I am not willing to let my fear keep me away from financial freedom. I am done being scared. But I will say that I do get coaching from time to time still to make sure that I'm right on track. Those of you that are new in the business, you need to get coaching as often as you can. You have a conversation that doesn't go well, you make sure that you go get coaching. Don't take that conversation into the next conversation. Make sure you get coaching, and do not carry the weight of something that is not yours to carry. This is what I go to bed at night. This is what I dream about. I look at all those lights. I think about all those meters and all the lives that can get changed along the way, guys. This is the future of deregulation. If this is something you choose to truly buy into, then this is what will keep you awake at night. I'm sorry. But just understand there's millions and millions and millions of people out there that are just waiting to hear about Ambit Energy. And we get to be the ones to tell them to do it. So I am incredibly grateful for you guys hanging in there. Like I said, this video is going to be available online through YouTube. And I pray that you guys got some value out of this. I hope that this helps some of you guys get started. We're going to come up with a more condensed version to focus more just on the invitations. But I wanted to get this information out so that at least your new people have something to go to that they can watch in off-peak times. But right now, it is focused on the next 3 days of quick invitations, showing the plan as quickly as possible, and getting that third-party partner on the phone to help them answer questions. Show the plan, show the plan, show the plan, and I promise you, you will have people in your business this week, and you will have a team to work with come next week. Let me jump out of screen sharing, guys, and get back over here. All right, guys, that's the end for tonight. I appreciate you hanging in there. I went 5 minutes over my allotted time. You guys are rock stars. We love working with you. Can't wait to see you at the Thursday presentation for the kickoff of Power Trip in Dallas. Let us know whatever we can do to help you grow your business. We do have a team call tomorrow night. It'll be from 9 o'clock to 9:30 Central Time. Make sure your team and everyone is plugged in. We talked a lot about plugging in. Help them plug in. They don't know how to plug in all by themselves. I didn't. I had to have someone show me how to plug in. So I've got my Superman shirt on because I'm feeling pretty super right at the moment. So, and my glasses. I just don't have X-ray vision anymore. But I wish you guys a great evening, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. God bless.